So up till now, we have seen that pyrazole is going to have a five-membered ring in which there is presence of two heteroatoms. So in the case of pyrazole, these two heteroatoms are both of them at first and third position. They are going to have a nitrogen atom. So out of that, one nitrogen atom is going to behave as a uh, pyrrole type nitrogen atom, and another nitrogen atom will be behave as a pyridine type of nitrogen atom. Now, the focus of today's lecture is, today we are going to start a discussion on oxazole. Now, it is also an 1,3-azole type of derivative. Now, what is 1,3-azole? So, here there is also a presence of heteroatom at first and third position. But the first nitrogen atom, the nitrogen atom which is as first position, it is replaced by a oxygen atom. So, the name of the ring is oxazole. Now, as like that of pyrazole, in the case of pyrazole, the first nitrogen atom is going to behave as a pyrrole nitrogen atom, and this nitrogen atom is going to behave as a pyridine type of nitrogen. So they are going to show the properties of like a pyridine. So here, this oxygen is going to behave as a furan-like oxygen. So the reactivity patterns, their reaction patterns, their chemical behavior is same as like that of furan oxygen, and this nitrogen is going to behave as a pyridine type of nitrogen. In order to afford the basicity property, in order to go for the reaction that is protonation. So this is an oxazole compound. It is also known as it is coming under also a 1,3-azole derivative, but one of the nitrogen atom is substituted with an oxygen. So this is a molecular dimensional structure of oxazole molecule. All the p or parameters of the carbon atom are perpendicular to the plane of the ring. The nitrogen atoms, lone pair of electrons, they are also sp2 hybridized. So here we will focus upon the chemical property of oxazole, whether oxazole is going to behave as an aromatic compound or not. Now, in the case of oxazole, it is going to have a presence of 3 carbon atoms, 1 nitrogen atom, and 1 oxygen atom. See, already have told you that 2 heteroatoms are present in the 5-membered ring. So, it is going to behave as a it is going to have 3 carbon atom, 1 nitrogen atom, and 1 oxygen atom. All the electrons of these heteroatoms as well as carbon atom are sp2 hybridized. Now, the presence of sp2 hybridization state, all the structure is planar in nature, and it makes the planar oxazole ring structure. Each ring atom also contain unhybridized p orbital. All these atoms will possess their one orbital is unhybridized. See, in the first lecture class only we have seen that these all electrons which are perpendicular to the ring, they are in the unhybridized state. So each ring atom also possess unhybridized p orbital which is perpendicular to the plane of the sigma bond. So here, p orbitals are parallel to each other. So the p orbitals of every atom, they are parallel to each other. So they will overlap their electrons in between them. So these all p orbital electrons, they are going to overlap with each other. They are going to migrate from one to the another. So they are going to create a pi cloud of electron due to the overlapping between the p orbitals. So the total number of non-bonding electrons in the case of oxazole are 6. So what are these non-bonding electrons? 3 non-bonding means unhybridized p orbital electrons. So there are 3 from the 3 carbon atom, 1 from the nitrogen atom, and 2 from the oxygen atom, as oxygen is going to have the presence of lone pair of electrons. So these 3 plus 3 we are going to provide the 6 number of pi non-bonding electrons, as due to the presence of 6 non-bonding pi electrons, they are going to give us the property of, they are going to obey the Huckel rule. That's why. So oxazole is aromatic in nature. But one of the property with the oxazole is due to the presence of oxygen atom, which is highly electronegative, so the delocalization is not overly effective as oxygen has the property to attract electron towards itself. So the delocalization is not complete. It will not happen properly as like that of pyrazole molecule, as like that of imidazole molecule. Due to the reason behind that, oxygen is more electronegative. Now, we are moving towards the synthesis of oxazole. There are various synthetic methods available to synthesize oxazole, but this is method, that is synthesis of oxazole from Robinson-Gabriel synthesis is one of the most common method used for the synthesis of oxazole. In this method, we are going to involve the use of alpha acyl amino carbonyl compound, that is alpha acyl amino carbonyl compound, which undergoes cyclization and dehydration. So these two ketone molecules or these carbonyl compound will cyclize together with the removal of water molecules. So they undergo cyclization and dehydration, removal of water molecules. They are going to synthesize oxazole molecule. So this particular reaction will be happening in the presence of either acid, mineral acid, or in the presence of phosphorus pentoxide. See, the point which we are going to memorize is Robinson-Gabriel synthesis will be taken place in the presence of either mineral acid or in the presence of phosphorus pentoxide. These, due to the presence of this strong acid as a deprotonating agent, so the protonating agent, there will be happening of dehydration, and due to the dehydration, there will be an cyclization of the ring. This ring will happen, and there is formation of oxazole molecule will take place. Now the reaction mechanism is same. This acid will protonate this carbonyl carbon atom, as carbonyl carbon atoms are electron deficient in nature, so they easily form a bond with either of the atom. So due to the protonation, there will be a formation of an intermediate adduct at both the carbonyl derivatives, and these intermediate adducts later on, they will share the electrons of each other with the removal of water molecule. So they will form a cyclic ring of substituted oxazole derivative. So this is an Robinson-Gabriel synthesis for the synthesis of substituted oxazole derivatives. Now we are moving towards the next synthetic method. It's from alpha hydroxy carbonyl compound. Now here, in the earlier case, we have used a ketone derivatives or a diketone derivative. Here we are going to use one of the hydroxy ketone derivative, that is acetylene. So this is a synthetic method in which we are going to synthesize oxazole from alpha hydroxy carbonyl compound. So this is the first prepared by, this method is found out by Camphor and Camphor co-workers. So this Camphor and Camphor co-workers actually designed this method for the synthesis of oxazole, in which there is involvement of series of reactions. So we will discuss the mechanism. So here there is involvement of a series of reactions to synthesize oxazole. Involves a reaction between alpha hydroxy ketosuccinate and a formamide derivative. So this alpha hydroxy ketosuccinate and formamide will give a formation of diethyl oxazole 4,5-dicarboxylate. So generally there will be a simply formation of bond between this carbonyl and amine functional group, and with this hydroxyl and ketone functional group. So immediately they will join together. See, this moiety is from the amide derivative, and this moiety, the remaining structure, is from the ketosuccinate derivative. So with the removal of water molecule, they are going to form a covalent bond with each other to synthesize diethyl oxazole 4,5-dicarboxylate, which is subsequently on hydrolysis. Which hydrolysis? Ester hydrolysis. See here, there will be an formation of an ester bond. These are the ester bonds. So with the help of ester hydrolysis, they will be decarboxylated to synthesize oxazole 4,5-dicarboxylate. And with the help of decarboxylation in the presence of phenolene and copper moiety, there will be a formation of an oxazole derivative. So what we are, where we are, this will be a synthetic method from the alpha hydroxy carbonyl compound, in which alpha hydroxy ketosuccinate reacts with an formamide in a series of reactions. So these are all the series of reactions. First, there will be a formation of addition reaction. So with the help of dehydration, so they will join together to form an ester diethyl oxazole 4,5-dicarboxylate. And with the help of breaking the bonds that are ester bonds, there will be a formation of an oxazole 4,5-dicarboxylate. And undergo decarboxylation in the presence of phenolene and copper ions, so there will be a formation of an oxazole. This method is particularly from an alpha hydroxy carbonyl compounds. Now the next method for the synthesis of oxazole derivatives is from isocyanides. So we are going to use methylated isocyanides for the synthesis of oxazole. Now this particular method is used for the synthesis of substituted oxazoles. So here there will be a reaction of alpha methylated isocyanide with an acid chloride. So when methylated isocyanide, that is isocyanomethylbenzene. So this methyl isocyanide will react with an acyl chloride, that is acetyl chloride, or we can use anhydride, acetic anhydride, in the presence of metal catalyst. So there will be a formation of a substituted oxazole, that is 5-methyl-4-phenyl oxazole. So this method is particularly developed by Luzin. Luzin has particularly developed this method for the synthesis of substituted oxazole. So there are 3 methods for the synthesis of oxazole derivatives: Robinson-Gabriel synthesis from alpha hydroxyketonyl or carbonyl compounds, and third and last method is from the isocyanide derivatives. So these are all the methods particularly used for the synthesis of oxazole derivatives. Now we are moving towards the reactions of oxazole. Now what are those reactions? Particularly the reactions involving reaction at a nitrogen atom and reaction at the carbon atom. So the electrophilic addition at the nitrogen atom. First of all, we will discuss the reaction towards the addition of nitrogen. When we are going to compare the oxazole with imidazole or pyrazole derivative, this is less reactive compared to the imidazole molecule. As imidazole is going to have 1,3-diazole compounds, so there will be presence of 2 nitrogen atom. One will behave as a pyrrole nitrogen and another one will behave as a pyridine dipole. So that's why imidazole is too much reactive than the oxazole. Why? Because oxazole is going to have the presence of oxygen as a more electronegative element. So this, due to this electronegativity, it will attract electron towards itself to complete their octet, which will diminish it, which will suppresses the reactivity pattern of the oxazole molecule. So first we will discuss the protonation reaction towards this nitrogen atom. See, as we all know, oxazole is going to have one oxygen which is going to behave as a furan type of oxygen, and the nitrogen is going to behave as a pyridine type of nitrogen. That means oxazole is going to show the basicity pattern or basicity behavior. And due to the presence of this pyridine type nitrogen, it is easily protonated in the presence of aqueous acid. So to give the formation of an oxonium ion. So it is undergo easily to protonate and acts as and forms as an oxazonium ion after the protonation reaction. Now we are moving towards the reactions at the carbon atom. Electrophilic reactions or electrophilic substitutions which will be happening at this carbon atom. Already we have discussed that oxazole is less reactive than the imidazole and another family-made heterocycle containing two heteroatoms in their rings due to the presence of oxygen as an heteroatom in this structure. Now, due to the presence of this oxygen and nitrogen atom at first and third position in the case of oxazole derivative, generally the attack of electrophilic substitution will be possible at fifth position. When the ring is activated by electron donating group. If we are going to activate the ring at electron donating group, so generally the substitution will be happening at the fifth position. So there will be a formation of an there will be a formation of an nitro derivative and sulfur derivatives are difficult due to the presence of oxygen as a more electronegative atom in the oxazole. Now, when 2-phenyl oxazole will react with the N-bromosuccinamide, there will be formation of an, already I told you that generally the substitution will be happening at the fifth position. So there is formation of an 5-bromo-2-phenyl oxazole. That means the substitution will be happening at the fifth position in the case of oxazole derivatives. Now, the very important reaction for the oxazole compound is Diels-Alder reaction. Now, what is this Diels-Alder reaction? It is basically an reaction between dienophile and reactive species. Now, it is basically a cycloaddition reaction between the dienophile and diene. Now, what is this dienophile and diene? Already we told us that out of this oxazole, oxygen atom is going to behave as a furan and nitrogen atom is like that of pyridine. So, due to the presence of this conjugated diene structure, alternate double bond presence in the oxazole molecule, it is going to behave as a diene. So, oxygen is highly electronegative. So, conjugated double bonds, these two conjugated double bonds will be behaves as a diene in the case of Diels-Alder reaction. Now, this oxazole will readily undergo Diels-Alder reaction to form the cycloaddition product at second and fifth position to form the furan derivative. Now, when oxazole's molecule is undergo Diels-Alder reaction, it will be used for the synthesis of furan from oxazole. So when we are going to synthesize furan from the oxazole by using an alkyne molecules to synthesize a furan molecule. So this is a mechanism of reaction. So in this reaction, oxazole is acting as a diene due to the presence of this conjugated double bond in the structure and the introduction of a second heteroatom in the oxazole molecule. So the structure will be affecting pyrazole, does not affect the diene nature. In the case of pyrazole, it will not affect the diene nature, but due to the presence of oxygen in the oxazole, it will affect the diene nature of the heterocyclic compound, but it will behave as a diene molecule. So when this diene will react with an acetylene or alkyne derivative, so simply there is formation of an adduct, and these type of adducts are known as oxygen atom is highly electronegative. So the conjugated double bonds are easily available as a diene in the Diels-Alder reaction. So oxazole readily undergoes Diels-Alder reaction to form cycloaddition adduct. And this is an cycloaddition adduct in the case of oxazole molecule. These two structures are same in the case of chemical and behavior. So they will undergo regeneration and structural rearrangement. They will again form benzonitrile as a byproduct to synthesize substituted furan derivatives. So from the oxazole molecule, we are going to synthesize substituted furan derivatives, undergo cycloaddition reaction. Now, this Diels-Alder reaction is also used for the synthesis of pyridine molecule from oxazole molecule. As already we have discussed that they are going to have the presence of diene, means conjugated double bonds. So this diene, when it will react with an azadiene, so this synthesizing pyridine derivatives by Diels-Alder reaction between azadiene and a dienophile. So this is a dienophile followed by a formation of an pyridine molecule, that is from the Diels-Alder reaction of oxazole molecule. So this synthesis of pyridine molecule from oxazole molecule is known as Kondratiev pyridine synthesis. So this is one of the application point of synthesis of pyridine molecule from oxazole. Now these two double bonds are from the this dienophile from the oxazole molecule, and this is from this molecule, that is alkyne molecule, substituted alkyne molecule. So they are undergo the formation of an cycloadduct as like that of same mechanism, that is Diels-Alder reaction. Now, so there is formation of an, what is the mechanism for the formation of an pyridine molecule? So this oxazole molecule will readily react with this alkyne derivative to form the cycloadduct similar to that of Diels-Alder reaction in the case of synthesis of furan. And this cycloadduct, see, shifting of the electron will be happening from this alkyne molecule to this electron deficient species of dienophile. So they will form a conjugated bond to form the cyclic adduct, and this cyclic adduct later on the structural rearrangement, there is formation of an pyridine derivative. So we are going to synthesize another 6-membered heterocyclic ring from a 5-membered heterocyclic ring, that is oxazole. So this is also have an application point for the synthesis of pyridine molecule from the oxazole molecule. Now we are moving towards the applications and medicinal uses of oxazole ring. Oxazole ring is going to behave as a component of presence of bengazoles. So it is going to have the presence of bengazole from the natural product, in which there is presence of 2 oxazole rings in its structure. And this early this bengazoles will be used as an antifungal agent, used for the treatment of fungal infection. Then the next one, that is oxaprozine. It is oxaprozine. It is also an earlier drug. It is used as a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, that is as an NSAID, used for the treatment of inflammation, rheumatoid arthritis. So these many are the applications of oxazole molecules. So it is used as an NSAID, as an anti-inflammatory agent, in the treatment of pain, in the treatment of rheumatoid diseases. So this is all about the oxazole molecule, various synthetic methods and their applications and reaction. Now we are moving towards the Next, 5-membered heterocyclic ring in which there is a replacement of this oxygen with a sulfur atom. So the name of the compound is thiazole. Similar to that of oxazole, it is going to have the presence of first atom as a sulfur, and at third position there is presence of nitrogen atom. See, similar to that of oxazole, this sulfur atom is going to behave as a thiophene. So it will show the properties of thiophene molecule, and this nitrogen atom is going to behave as a early case pyridine type of nitrogen. Now, as like that of oxazole, it is also going to have the presence of 3 carbon atoms, 1 nitrogen atom and 1 sulfur atom. All the atoms in this structure are sp2 hybridized and they are planar. That's why they are going to give the presence of unhybridized p orbitals. So these are all unhybridized p orbitals. They are parallel to each other. They are going to create a overlapping between these all p orbitals. So there will be a formation of an picloid of electrons of 6 electrons, 3 from the carbon atom, 1 from the 1 nitrogen atom, and another 2 from the remaining sulfur atom. As sulfur is also going to have the presence of lone pair of electrons. So as it is going to have the presence of 6 number of non-bonding electrons, thiazole is also going to obey the Hooke's rule. So thiazole molecule is also aromatic in nature. As it is going to have the 6 pi electrons, so it will obey the Hooke's rule. Now, the synthesis of thiazole by Gabriel synthesis method. Now, as like that of oxazole, it is also a formation of an thiazole molecule from alpha acylamino carbonyl compounds. So the mechanism is same as like that of oxazole molecule. We can use a mineral acid or phosphorus pentoxide for this particular formation. So firstly, there will be a protonation or cyclic rearrangement of the electrons. So they are going to form the cyclic adduct. And this adduct later on undergo dehydration to synthesize thiazole molecules. Now, the next synthesis method, as like that of oxazole, is same. In the case of oxazole, we have used formamide. In the case of thiazole, here we are going to use a thiamide. This also method is from the synthesis of alpha hydroxycarbonyl compound. So when they are going to use this particular method for the synthesis of thiazole, that is from alpha hydroxycarbonyl compound. Mechanism is same. A condensation of alpha hydroketones with an amide derivative. So there will be a formation of a water molecule. So there is synthesis of substituted thiazole. So this particular synthesis method is known as Hansch thiazole synthesis, as he has discovered this particular method for the synthesis of thiazole structure or thiazole molecule, in which there is simply the condensation of alpha hydroxycarbonyl compound with a thiamide derivative. So there will be a formation of an cyclic adduct to synthesize thiazole derivative. Now, similar to that of oxazole, this is also have the same method for the synthesis of thiazole. It is from the chloroacetone, where it is will react with the isothiocyanate or thiocyanate derivative. Simply there is a conjugation of reaction, condensation reaction between the thiocyanate salt with the chloroacetone to form thiazole derivatives. As like that of oxazole, thiazole is also going to have the reaction at nitrogen atom, as this nitrogen atom is going to behave as a pyridine type of nitrogen. So it will also undergo protonation reaction to form thiazolium salt or thiazolium cation, thiazolium intermediate adduct, which is more reactive than the thiazole. Now the reactions at the nitrogen atom is N alkylation reaction. So the alkylation will be happening with the sharing of these two electrons which are there with the nitrogen atom. So there will be undergo alkylation in the presence of alkyl halide and aqueous acid. So with the help of these alkyl halide, so there will be a formation of an N-alkylation product, that is N-methyl thiazolium salt. Now the next reactions of thiazolium are substitutions at carbon atom. Now, as in the case of oxazole, the substitution will be happening at 5th position, but in the case of thiazole ring, the favorable position for the substitution in the case of thiazole ring is at 4th and 5th position, as like that of pyrazole molecule. So the 4th and 5th positions are favorable towards electrophilic substitution reaction. So the nitration, first we will going to use the amide derivative of thiazole. So it is, if it is nitrated, so there is formation of a, bromination, so there is formation of a 2-amino 5-bromo thiazole. So this is an bromination reaction. Then the next reactions of thiazole are substitutions to the carbon atom, that is sulfonation reaction. So this sulfonation will be by using oleum and mercury ions, will require the presence of high degree temperature. So there will be a formation of an thiazole 5-sulfuric acid. As we all know, 4th and 5th position is favorable towards the electrophilic substitution reaction, but majority of the basis, the substitution will be happening at the 5th position. Then halogenation reaction, formation of an 5-bromo thiazole by halogenation reaction. Then the formation of an chloro derivative, that the 2-amino thiazone, when it will react with the sodium nitrate in the presence of hydrochloric acid, we can synthesize nitronium ion, that is thiazole 2's disonium, and this disonium ion undergo, when it will react with the cuprous chloride to form 2-chlorothiazole from the 2-amino thiazole. So the chloro substitution will be happening at a 2nd position, but it will require harsh condition, that is -5 degree temperature will be required for the formation of a 2-chlorothiazole ring structure. Now the medicinal uses of thiazole molecules, it is used as and it is going to have the medicinal application. It is actually a H2 receptor blocker. Now our stomach and pancreas or our gastrointestinal system is designed in such a way that it will secrete acid. But this acid secreting receptors, these are blocked by this thiazole derivative, that is famotidine, nizatidine are used in the treatment of peptic ulcer. If our gastrointestinal lining will be hampered due to the release of too much of acid in the stomach, so it will be blocked by the release of acid from this H2 receptor. For that, we are going to use H2 receptor blockers. These are famotidine and nizatidine used in the treatment of peptic ulcer. Then chloromethazole used as an sedative and hypnotic. In order to make the patient calm and sedative and hypnotic, in order to give the hypnotism to the patient, so that time we are going to use chloromethazole for the treatment as an sedative and hypnotic. Next medicinal use of thiamine, that is thiazole, it is going to have the presence and in the vitamin B1 used in the treatment of vitamin B deficiency, that is thiamine deficiency. As vitamin B1 will be results into very disease. So for the treatment of this very and vitamin B1 deficiency disease, we are going to treat that person with a vitamin B1 containing thiazole ring in its structure. So these are all the uses, that is sulfathiazole. It is also have an application in the as an antibiotic. It is also used as an phenetidone, as an anti-inflammatory derivative. It is also used as an fungicide as combidiazole. It is also used as an miridazole in the treatment of cystosomial infectious diseases. So these are all the medicinal uses of thiazole. The oxazole and thiazole have a similar behavior, chemical aromaticity pattern of both the heterocycle rings. So today we have covered two heterocycles, oxazole and thiazole. Everybody put down your